All right, we are getting into the conversation, and now our next guest is no stranger to you. He's the senator of this lovely city of Nairobi, and I remember when he came into politics.
Yeah.
The one thing that everybody was like, "Wow, he's so young. He's so young."
The youngest Secretary General of a party
Yeah, and
in the world.
And on top of that, he went into politics or into parliament as a senator of Nairobi County.
Yes.
And ever since, he's hit the ground running. It's very interesting, this next bill that we're going to be speaking about. Of course, I'm talking about none other than Senator Johnson Sakaja. Good morning, sir.
Morning to you, sir.
Morning.
Not better.
Good to see you guys. How you guys doing?
As guys
Very
are
well.
good. Welcome to the show.
Clearly.
Yes, we can get you clearly, nice and clearly. For those of you who are watching, you can go onto vibesradio.co.ke so you can get to watch the interview live.
Yeah.
Now, I want us to get right into this startup bill. There's a question I'd asked you guys. Go on to hashtag Kwambox and Kev. Let us know, what is a startup? According to you, what is a startup? By definition, nobody actually got it correct.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, nobody got it correct.
Also, looking at their own definitions?
Yes. So, Senator, we're going to start from there. What is a startup? What's the difference?
Thank you. I think many people have different definitions of what a startup is, and just the pure English meaning of a startup is something that has been started. If you start up a new business.
Yeah.
Our focus really is on startups that number one, innovative idea to solve an issue within society.
Yeah.
Mostly leveraging on technology. So we have a whole startup community that is mainly based on tech.
Yeah.
And many of these startups, within the past few years, they leapfrog into something much bigger than was envisioned when they started out. So that for me is a startup. It can be an innovation in agriculture, in any different sector, but leveraging on technology, and that can be quickly scaled up to global standards, not just local standards.
Yeah. And I mean, the 254 is a place that innovation is our thing.
Yeah.
But it seems that if you are in, like, say, if you're in Turkana and you have a startup, how do you go about even getting financing? How do you even get the prototype? So tell us about the startup bill. Hello, Senator, unatupata? I think.
So what I thought to do, and you're right. Kenya is a country that is known for innovation and technology.
Yeah.
I was in San Francisco a few years back at the Silicon Valley, what they call the Silicon Valley, where everyone says all of this innovations come out, and they asked me, how is it that we're getting so much great innovation and technology coming from Kenya? And I said, look, that the technology is the same now. The world has become a global village, but the needs and necessity are different.
Yeah.
So that's why we're seeing us producing solutions for water, connecting communities. Because if you're coding on JavaScript in the States, so is the guy in Kenya.
Yeah.
But you're coding to create a shopping line maybe, and someone here is helping people get water, pay fees, etc. So necessity is the mother of invention. The world has seen it. What I thought to do, and I came together with the startup community, the Association of Startups, Incubators, Naila, BuyHub, all these guys, to say, how do we mainstream you guys into the economy such that wherever you are in this country, once you've been acknowledged to be, part of that ecosystem, you get tax incentives, you get, and I'm glad even you heard yesterday with BBI, they're talking about tax holidays. You get a tax holiday.
Yeah.
And we de-risk. And what's most important, we de-risk any investor.
Yeah.
If the investor wants to put in money, if they put in money in your app, Kwambox, but it doesn't fail, they still get back 30% of the investment.
Yeah.
And everyone is happy about that.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do, to mainstream them, to register them, not just the startups, the innovation hubs as well. So we can have these hubs all across the country to leverage on what we have. If a few guys who have been able to access technology have done so well, imagine if we increase that share of that space amongst our young people throughout the country.
So, Bonner Senator, I know there are many youth out there listening to you, and they're like, "What the hell is an incubator?" Can you just explain to them what an incubator is, and how they can get into an incubator and be part of it?
So an incubator, you like eggs, when you're trying to rear eggs.
Yeah.
You get the small ones, you put them in a nice environment with some heat, and you take care of them until they hatch. And once they hatch, what are they called? The vifaranga are taken care of. It's an environment that is almost artificial, but that allows small animals to be nurtured. So in the tech community, an incubation hub is the same. So you come with an idea, but you can't pay rent. You don't have access to good internet. Like you can see, I'm breaking up. You don't have access to opportunities or to networking, but an incubator connects you, one, with the infrastructure you require. Two, it creates a nexus between academia, research, and government. So we have many incubators where people have actually, come in with nothing, no bus fare, but with an idea, and they've left there after a few years with big multi-million companies. So that's what we want to grow across the country.
All right. We're going to take a short commercial break, but then I want to ask a question, which Senator will answer when we come back. Is it possible for a young person in the 254 right now to have a full education, right, to be able to access these things without access to the internet? That's the question I'd like you to answer when we come back.
I'll answer it in detail.
All right.
Morning Vibes, where you are the MVP. No negative vibes.
Shout out to everybody who's coming through on hashtag Kwambox and Kev. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Hello. All right, call us up. Of course, any questions that you have, you can use that hashtag Kwambox and Kev. What are people saying online?
All right, let me check it out real quick. So a couple of guys are really vibing about, asking questions to the senator.
Shout out to Esther Davi, who's coming through on a Shoni Wagwan, Trinidad as well. Remember, you have to make a point of reading this. If you are a young person and you've got some great ideas, you need to know about the startup bill and how this will affect you. And this is the reason why we've got the senator who's talking to us via Zoom, but we want to switch this into a phone call.
Especially if you're getting into the startup ecosystem.
Yes.
You need to be part of this conversation. So, swinging those questions real quick. Like I said, it's at Vibes Radio KE. On Twitter, the hashtag is, of course, Kwambox and Kev. Good? All right, so big shout outs to the ninjas on social media. Yeah, as we get the senator ready for the conversation.
All right. Welcome back, Senator.
Thank you.
I think it's much clearer here.
Yeah,
it's much clearer. I can get you guys now proper.
All right.
Awesome.
Before we went on the break, I had asked you a question. Is it possible, because their parents were listening in right now and they're like, at least, so is that enough? Is it possible for a child to grow and get a full education without access to the internet?
Well, I mean, it's possible, but the world is changing. And that's why I think it's noble to try and get people connected as much as possible. You see now with the internet, a student can learn more than the limits of his teacher's imagination. Before, everything you knew was limited to what Mr. Kamau knows in maths or in English. But the world of today, really, you're not competing with the guy sitting next to you in class. You're competing with a young person in China or in Japan or in the US. So the internet is extremely important, and you can get much more beyond that which is in the confines of school. And education really is more than just class. Education is life. Education is what's going on, what's new, how can I sort out an issue in my society. And that is entrepreneurship. When you find a problem within society, sort it out, and make money out of it, then you're an entrepreneur. That's how Bezos is the richest guy in the world. He wasn't taught Amazon in school. Yeah, but he saw an issue in society. He used the tools he had gotten from school, and he's the richest man on earth.
Now, when I'm looking at your bill, part 2 is talking about the establishment of incubation programs. Most of the incubation programs are available in Nairobi. So there's a young person in Turkana. How will they have access? What is your bill proposing? How will you help that innovative young person in Turkana access the incubation?
So initially, most of the hubs were in Nairobi. And then we got some hubs coming up from Mombasa. There's Mombasa hub, there's Nakuru. There's even Taita Taveta, Eldoret, and many other parts of the country. They're cropping up. But you see, they're driven mainly by the private sector. And it's individuals or institutions of learning that really have been pushing it. Now, what this bill does, and that's why it's coming through the Senate, we're encouraging the counties and we'll incentivize them, plus academia. So we have unis everywhere, constituent colleges in PC, where you name it.
Yeah.
To actually set up the hubs there, because there's no limit. In fact, what we're creating on top of the hubs, is what we call a virtual special economic zone.
Yeah.
So you see how we've been operating. If we have things we want to export and give them, some advantages, we tell them all of you go to Athi River in this specific geographical area, and then you get tax holidays and breaks etc. But I'm saying virtually, we're creating a special economic zone of startups because we've seen the potential. So your startup in Turkana will have the same exact advantages when it comes to incentives, when it comes to the risking of your investors, when it comes to opportunities and access to the market as a startup in Nairobi or in Mandera, if this bill is implemented and comes into it. Yeah.
So now, Bwana Senator, that's really dope. But what are some of the requirements that an already existing incubator has to meet in order to be listed by the register under this act?
Well, there are some requirements. I don't know if you want me to go through them bit
just
by
real
bit.
quick, yeah.
But some of the things an incubator needs to show is that one, the incubator has some experience or some linkages, with academia or with government or with research institutions. So it's not just somebody who's coming to herd young people together.
Yeah.
And then take advantage of them, because we've seen that happening as well. We've seen people just setting up, getting ideas, taking your intellectual property, and then them making money as opposed to you.
Yeah.
Number two, you need to show that you're able to teach financial skills to help these startups, really make it.
Yeah.
The problem is most startups fail in the second or third year because of finance.
Yeah.
They don't know how to cost their products. They don't know how to, leverage and how to enter the market. So you need also to be able to show these people. Of course, you need to have access to the internet, proper to the internet, and a conducive environment.
Yeah.
So, there are also requirements in the bill. Anybody can access the bill.
Yeah.
It's on startupbill.ke or sakaja.co.ke. Download it, engage. We're receiving views from so many people. Their forums, I'll send you some of the flyers all across, and they're virtual. Anyone can log in, give your opinion, use the hashtag StartupBill2020 or StartupBill.ke, and all of your views, no matter where you're from, whether it's one sentence, one line, an amendment, will be taken into consideration.
Awesome.
As we move to the next stage of this law. And really, what I've seen from this is that young guys want to engage. This is the first time a bill has had such kind of public participation, because it's addressing, I don't know if it's targeting young guys, or how it's structured public participation, not in the traditional way of Bunge at come on Tuesday, at County Hall at 11 a.m. No. We're using technology, even we have an app. So you just get in there, give us your comments.
And I like how in the bill they mentioned that it says that if your business is because if you already have a startup right now and this bill comes into, you're like, have I missed out? Does it have to be starting? It says 7 years if your business has been in existence less than 7 years.
7 years or less.
Yeah, 7 years or less.
Yeah, 7 years or less. So if you've just started out, don't think you'll miss out. And also, we also don't want to create Mugabes of startups. Like you can't call Ushahidi still a startup. Or M-Pesa or there has to be a limit of time and also growth.
Yeah.
But so then you give space to other new ones to come and take advantage of those incentives, because the incentives are going to be expensive.
Yeah.
And some of those amendments are going to come through in the National Assembly. But ultimately, Kwambox, you know me, what I've done since I got into Parliament in 2013, I started with the 30% procurement opportunities law.
Yeah.
I did the National Employment Authority. I'm doing a prompt payment law. It's really economic opportunities for young people. Because unless we give young guys economic opportunities, they mean nothing.
Yeah.
No one cares about BBI. No one cares about politics. Kama kuna kitu kwa mfuko. And that's what we focus on. And guys need to be able to make a living out of their talent. That for me is bare minimum.
Now, speaking of making a living, The main question I feel like people are asking themselves is, will the government, especially guys in the startup ecosystem, will the government actually provide or at least help Kenyan startups access funding, for capital in itself for their startups?
Yeah. And just to add on to that before you answer, there's been conversations in the startup space where you have foreigners. Because Africa is, Africa has a lot of challenges. Yeah, you if you come from a place where if you travel, you just go and see something, you can come to Kenya and replicate it, and it can be great, right? It will pick up really well. So you have people will come from abroad, they will come here,
promises.
They will have a startup, but they will access the funding. Right. And then, of course, this is not really a Kenyan startup. It's a foreign startup. But you find that those are the ones that are really thriving. How will we protect, Kenyan startups as well?
Okay. Number one, on the first question, will we be able to get government to put in money? You'll be shocked. Many of the people in the startup community or ecosystem are not even really looking for government to put in money. They want the proper environment and the ability for us to de-risk angel investors who are out there internationally, who are going to put in money. So we're not starting another youth fund or Kazi kwa Vijana. It's just saying that anywhere around the world, if you come and invest in a Kenyan startup, you're guaranteed your return to a certain percentage because the product is good. So of course, in terms of seeds, there can be some resources government will put in. But that is not 100% of our priority. Our priority is to be able to say that if you have such a brilliant idea and you're protected by our laws in this country, then anyone who sees it can be able to put in money and get their risk covered. There is no money to unlock that way. There's no government that's going to put $10 million into your startup, but there's an angel investor who's going to put in that money. And we've seen even with Kenyan startups. If you look at Cellulant, if you look at, so many of them that are doing great. The money they've gotten is from outside. Number two, how do you protect Kenyans? Now, we're working very closely with the Intellectual Property Institute. So that we make sure once the idea is patented and, you have intellectual property, no one can take it away from you. But we understand also the startups don't want to lock out foreigners because many of them will say, I'm gonna put in $2 million or whatnot, but I want shareholding, I want to be part of it. So I think for a startup to qualify under that definition to access government, preferences, a certain percentage, close to 50%, must be Kenyan owned. Others we are funding just foreign companies.
That's amazing.
So there must be that element that it's majority Kenyan owned. Then that also protects you from being bought out completely. Unless you want to buy out completely, then it stops being protected as a Kenyan startup. But by that time, you've made your money 10 times over, and you start another startup and create employment for our young people. So we're locking it in.
All right.
We also lock it in.
And that's part of the incentives that you've mentioned in part 5 as, providing, startups with, protection of intellectual property, of innovations is mentioned there. But there's also something that is mentioned there, providing support in the form of research and development activities. We've seen the Kenya National Innovation Agency, and if anyone who's listening in right now, go onto the website and check out some of the amazing things which the president also mentioned in his speech during the Mashujaa Day. Abantobagusi, you know where that happened. But you have all this brilliant, you have the agency. Has it been? Are you aggregating the work of the agency under this startup bill?
The agency has existed for a while. The Science and Innovation Act, but many people had no clue what it does. Including me. So what the startup bill does, it gives more life to the agency. And if you look at the bill, I've mentioned this agency repeatedly. We've sat with them; they are very excited because, in as much as they have all this leeway to research and information, what are you using it for? We just don't want research to sound smart. Kenya is not a library. Kenya is a factory. All this innovation and information then must translate to commerce and industry and business. So that's the nexus we're drawing. We're not creating a new, I have people saying, this bill is just creating another new parasystem. There's nothing new we're creating. There's no new authority. We're going to use Kenya and then leverage on what they already have. So you see, for instance, if you have a startup that is in health, and you need some information on biology or biotechnology, you'll find through Kenya and maybe through even the university, they have already that capacity and infrastructure to help you.
Yes.
At a cost you would never have been able to even think of.
Yeah.
So a proper startup ecosystem is where you've connected academia and research. If you go to Konza, which is still being developed, and I went to visit them. There's even South Korea universities are setting up there, Lim Kong Wing University. All of these guys are setting up there.
Yeah.
So you connect academia, and then you connect academia to, of course, government, because you need government incentives and protection.
Yeah.
And then connect it to the private sector and to the market. Once you create that holy trinity, then the economy is leapfrogs. But the thing young guys must realize, because there's also a lot of apathy.
Yeah.
Guys say, these things we've had before, we won't get through. Try, get in there. Just try, come up with the idea, log in, give us your ideas.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, if we had time, I would look for you almost 20 guys.
Yeah.
Who, the 30% on which I did in 2015, many people are saying, oh, you can't access, you can't be able to get the cartels.
Yes.
Those guys now are bowling. They have done business, they have employed people, and they have expanded to the region.
Yeah.
2 of them are in Rwanda now. So we need to pull out this weeds of skepticism.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, Gava is in his idea, or I can't take advantage of this. If you have an idea, that which is in between your ears is what is going to, take it to the next level. So guys should just connect, engage. I pray it passes. It's now at the at the second stage in the Senate.
Yeah.
We're working with National Assembly members because there's some aspects that need to be brought in there.
Yeah.
And you have the president speaking in Kisii. He's really feeling the youth now.
Yeah.
So we have to take advantage of that.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to take a short commercial break and then we'll come and wrap it up. Remember, we're speaking to Senator Sakaja, who has proposed the Startup Bill 2020, which is what we're discussing. If you got any questions, we're coming back to ask that. And of course, wrap up the interview. Kevin, you're learning a lot.
Hey, me, I'm in the startup ecosystem anyway. So shout outs to the senator, Manze.
Morning Vibes, where you are the MVP. No negative vibes.
All right, at 9 minutes to 9 a.m. Remember, you're still on Morning Vibes with your captain of good vibes. They call me Kwambox.
And they call me Kev Matara. Big shout outs to the guys on the SMSs. You guys are asking questions. Ask what's up. Remember, if you want to get involved, it is very simple. The SMS lines are open. It's 40131.
Also, you can use the hashtag Kwambox and Kev. Whatever questions you have for the senator about the startup bill, you can definitely hit us up. Senator, as we wind up the conversation, I want you to paint a picture for a listener, because when we're talking about startups, right, it leans on technology, something, that's disruptive. And there's a lot of young people who are disruptors, in this day and age. But let's paint a picture. I'm, say, in, where's far? Let's say I'm in the heart of Bomet, right? And I'm a Hearts boy, but I've come up with this idea of how we can be able to stop cattle rustling, right?
Yeah.
And I have this idea. I'm seated with it right now. I know that this is a brilliant idea, but I don't know what to do. What would you tell that person? How do they go about it? What is your bill proposing? Yes.
Number one, you see, we need to know whether what you have is a good idea for society or it's a business.
Yes.
So what we're targeting is businesses. A startup is a young high growth business.
Yeah.
That then deploys technology to solve a problem in society.
Yeah.
Because unless it's a business, it can be a nice thing. Yes, guys should love each other, etc.
Yeah.
But it's not a business. No one is going to invest in something that has no return. Unless it's a societal problem that we want to solve just because really we need to solve things. So we're targeting biashara. So the first thing is that, okay, there'll be need for you to approach and give your idea. There'll be a platform online from wherever you are.
Yeah.
Even in Bomet, there's net everywhere.
Yes.
And in a very simple way, you'll be able to upload your idea. Your idea then will be vetted first and protected. No one will steal it. And protected. And if it qualifies and people can say, yes, there's potential for job creation through this, it solves a problem in society and it's a high growth, it has high growth potential, then you get registered there in that moment.
Now, let me just jump in. You can imagine there's this scenario I think you've seen where cattle is being like the trade of cattle is big, and cattle rustling, right? A lot of business people losing a lot of money through cattle rustling and all sorts of things. So this young person has come up with this idea of how maybe the owners of the cows can keep track of their cows.
Oh yeah, now that's a business.
Yeah.
So how do they go about it?
Those cows will want to put money into that.
Yes.
So once it is then registered as a startup through now the agency that is being referred to here, Kenya. The guy has gone on and said, I have this idea, I have tested it. This is the technology I'm using. For instance, for the cows, there's what we call baby bolus technology.
Yes.
That if your cows eat this thing, there's this chip that will be in their tummy.
Yes.
Then the guy can track it through their phone, for instance.
Yeah. Once
that has been registered, then you've been given a very easy way to. You don't have to go register. The same process that a normal business will take. The IP is protected. You might get some support in terms of money to set up, but from there there'll be a site where you come in. Then now you have to go look for your clients.
Oh, so you do the marketing by yourself.
You have to do marketing. So, of course, there's an incubator around there. They'll hold your hand and help you.
Yeah.
But ultimately, this is not to say, okay, if you have an idea, you will send it and then you sit back and beat up and relax. You still have to do your work.
True.
But then now you won't be taxed as much as a normal company would be taxed.
Nice. Okay.
If somebody wants to come and put in money into your company in Bomet or wherever the cattle rustling is going in, if they put in $1 million, for instance, 100 million shillings, possibly 30 million of theirs is guaranteed. There'll be a credit guarantee scheme where if you want to borrow money to grow and you go to the bank, now that is commercial, you will be able to be given money at a concessional rate, a lower rate than anyone else, and government will be your guarantee. So you need to have a title deed. Or collateral like a car. That credit guarantee scheme will protect the startups for the work of the startups. So the legislative process is what's going on. Once we've done, then there'll be that implementation matrix. That now the bill has passed. It's a law. I'm in Kakamega with my startup. Where do I go to now? That will become more clear at that point. Once now we're in the implementation phase. Right now we're at the legislative phase.
All right, so this is something that a lot of young people are paying attention to. I can see some questions coming in. We are looking forward to see whether this will become law. And
I got a final question for the senator. Now, Senator, I believe entrepreneurship is the last beacon of hope for the Kenyan youth. Yeah, and I feel like you feel the same way. Do you think our parents are actually supporting the innovative, startup ecosystem for this youth? Do you feel like we're actually more positive about, the startup culture?
Many parents. You're asking whether parents are supportive?
Yeah, because I don't feel like it's. I don't feel like they're open
parents
to. Just guardians, parents.
It's increasingly it is growing. Before, of course, now parents are also getting younger and younger, and we're seeing how the world is going.
Yeah.
But many years ago, they knock you, they'll slap you upside your head. What are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Go be a doctor. Go be a lawyer. But now that they've seen the successes, they have seen, look, most of the wealth around the world and even locally is people who are engaging in these startups. Then I'm seeing that resistance is going down. I can give an example. We have an annual tech challenge.
Yeah.
That we've been doing together with Konza. And I've been taking young people from Nairobi, particularly from Dandora and Matara, from the slums. Now, it's an international, thing, and there's always a challenge and a competition. 2-3 years in a row, there's a young 7-year-old in Dandora who's been winning.
Oh wow!
7 years old. The first time he saw a computer was at the first competition.
Wow.
And you saw how to code. The guy is winning 15-year-olds. 18-year-old. So their parents are saying, okay, there's something out there that could be a potential. This guy doesn't have to be a tout. He doesn't have to own a butchery.
Exactly.
He can come up with something that would change our lives. So I'd just like to encourage parents. Just the world is different from what it was before.
Yeah.
It's now a global village. I look forward to, and through this bill and all these other initiatives, that a young company, a young startup in Kisumu will be doing logistics for a fishing line in Japan right from Kisumu.
Exactly.
Through technology. Because it's now a global village powered by information, driven by technology. And that's the kind of thinking we need. And we need to know that the horizons have changed. We're not competing with the guys next door, with Uganda, or with the next school, inter-schools. We're competing with the same generation across the world.
I like that. Thank you so much, Bonus Senator. I'm going to let you get back to work. We know that you're a busy guy. Thank you so much. And next time we speak, we'll be talking about the youth card in politics, because you're a young guy, and the youth really need to hear what you have to say about this.
I'm ready for that.
All right. Have a great day. We'll talk later. Cheers.
Peace.
You too.
All right, that was Senator Sakaja. I hope you learned a thing or two about the startup bill. Let us know what you feel about it. Have you read it? What are your thoughts on it? Remember to use hashtag Kwambox and Kev. The show is Morning Vibes. The station is Vibes Radio. Remember, we're here to give you nothing but good vibes only. That's our mandate. I'm your captain of good vibes. They call me Kwambox.
They call me Kev Matara.
Vibes Radio, we rule the nation in this generation.